So here in the 2025 season, the Cincinnati Reds are now into the month of September, and that means that the September call-ups have been made. We have called up one bat and one arm. The bat is Austin Hendrick, who is back up here in the big leagues. He had an .832 OPS down in AAA Louisville, so he is being rewarded with a call-up here to the major leagues once again. And Alex Reyes, who is back to striking out a ton of people down in AAA, is back up to be in the big league bullpen as well. As far as how the Reds are off in September, they have gotten off to a fantastic start here in this month. They have won 7 games in a row, or they did win 7 games in a row, 8-2 in their last 10 games. Second wild card spot for them. They are actually a half game in front of San Diego, Philly, and the Mets. Only 4.5 games behind the Cubs for the division too, so still a long shot to actually win the division, but not quite out of it. And then a couple stat updates. There's Spencer Brickhouse, who has a .778 OPS in 120 Major League AB since coming over at the deadline from the D-backs. And then Luis Arraez has just been really lackluster for us this season at the plate, a sub-700 OPS, currently on a cold streak as well. So the Reds here at home at Great American Ballpark, playing host to an NL Central foe in the St. Louis Cardinals. Toeing the slab for them on the day is the right-hander Freddie Peralta, making his 31st season. And take a look at the Reds lineup that they'll be throwing out there 1-9 on the day, as well as their starter, the flame-throwing right-hander Hunter Greene, making his 30th start here for Cincinnati, as well as the Cardinals 1-9. We'll start things off top half of the first inning. Tommy Edman grounding a ball up the middle with 1 out. That is a base knock to get himself on first base. Then it would bring up Nolan Arenado. 3-2 count, spits on ball 4, slider misses the zone. It's now first and second here for the Redbirds, and then it brings up Nunez, who rips one into the left field corner. That's going to drive in a run, as it's now a 1-0 lead here for the Redbirds. They strike first. Fortunately, Green would clutch up and strike out Dylan Carlson to get out of the inning. Move things on to the bottom of the first now, where J.P. Crawford gets a hanging curveball and he bangs it out to right center field. This one into the seats. A solo shot ties this game at 1 as J.P. comes through yet again for this Reds ball club. So later on in the inning, it is Tyler Stevenson dribbling one up the middle. The slow roller gets into center field. It's a base knock, brings up Brian Anderson, who cranks one right center field, way out of here. He is on fire lately. 2-run blast, and the Reds jump out on top 3-1 as they pick up 2 bombs there in the first inning. Move things all the way on to the top of the 5th, where Nolan Arenado walks again here in the game, keeps the inning alive with a 2-out base on ball. And that would unfortunately end Hunter Greene's day. Just walked too many guys, threw too many pitches on the day. So he comes out here in the 5th, and Jarrett Ross enters out of the bullpen for the 39th time this season. Facing Tyler O'Neill, gets him to go down on the big breaker. Curveball swinging, move things on bottom of the 5th here. Taylor Walls almost takes the head off of Freddie Peralta there. Goes right back up the middle for a base knock, and then does what he does and swipes second base to get himself into scoring position. So he's on second base, nobody out with his 30th swiped bag, and J.P. Crawford rips one to deep center field once again, but not deep enough. Carlson puts it away. Wall's going to tag up. Carlson's throw offline, so Walls moves up to third base. He's 90 feet away from scoring, and Tyler Stevenson would drive him in. It's now a 4-1 lead here for Cincinnati, and then the left-hander Clayton Kershaw would come on here out of the bullpen for St. Louis. Facing Spencer Brickhouse, who commits some lefty-on-lefty crime, takes a hanging slider out to right center field. That's going to score the runner easily. It's now a 5-1 lead here for the Reds. Then Johnny Fagan comes up, hits one down the left field line, past the diving glove of Arenado. O'Neill's throw to the plate is going to get Brickhouse at the plate. So only 2 runs come across for the Reds in that inning. It's now a 5-1 ball game. Jarrett Ross was very solid coming out of the pen, strikes out Carlson there, and also Josh Baez on the breaking ball. 2 Ks in the inning for Ross in the 6th, and then in the 7th, For the second out of the inning, he would get some great defense in center field. Adrian Merced laying out, making the play for the second out of the inning. Nothing else would happen in the inning, but let's take a look at this on the StatCast replay. Fantastic diving catch from the center fielder, 100% route efficiency for Adrian Merced. That will take us into the top of the ninth inning, where DeAndre Foster comes on looking for his 29th save since taking over as the closer, and he's going to get just that on a ground ball with 2 on, 1 out. A 3-6-3 double play to end the ball game, and the Reds come away with the win here over the St. Louis Cardinals by a score of 5-1. Here at Great American Ballpark, J.P. Crawford picks up Player of the Game honors, 2 for 4 in the day with a home run in the first inning. Brian Anderson also homered in the first inning. He went 2 for 4. Hunter Green, only 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 Ks, 3 walks, only 1 run though, and the offense picks him up. While Jarrett Ross goes 3 1/3 out of the bullpen, 2 hits, 3 Ks, no earned runs for him. Reds continue to play great baseball here in the month of September. So the Reds did indeed win that series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Unfortunately, the one after that to the Pittsburgh Pirates at home, they dropped that one, but they did rebound with a series win over the D-backs, and now they're going to be taking on the San Francisco Giants, which is a huge series in this month of September. They currently hold the top wildcard spot, so we can make some serious ground here in the wildcard standings by beating these guys and winning this series. Cincinnati currently only a half game behind the Phillies for the second wildcard spot. And just a little bit of a stat update, Stuart Bradshaw has actually been quite good since coming up from AAA. All this series long, it's been guys coming up and struggling in that 5th starter spot for us, but Bradshaw has broken the mold. He has come up and been very solid in that number 5 spot. And if we take a look at this San Francisco Giants ball club, best bat on their team is Alex Verdugo, who they signed to a long-term deal in the offseason. They've also got Eduardo Escobar and Rougned Odor as new names in their lineup. A couple other guys who weren't really too interesting, though, but Lamont Wade is very interesting. He has some insane ratings. He absolutely crushes right-handed pitching with like 95 power and contact, I'm pretty sure, against righties. And then he's actually gotten a +11 and +10 boost, respectively, to contact and power against left-handed pitching this season, which is by far the biggest boost I've ever seen in one season. They also have a very good 1-2 in their rotation in Carlos Rodon and Logan Webb. Kind of falls off after those two, though, and they have a pretty good back end of their bullpen with Tyler Rogers and Camilo Doval. The Redlegs travel out west to take on the San Francisco Giants here. The top spot in the wild card belongs to them. Phillies in second, and then half game out are the Cincinnati Reds. So toeing the slab for the Giants on the day is the right-hander Joe Ross, making his 31st start of the season. Take a look at the Redlegs 1-2-9 on the day, as well as their starter on the day, left-hander Big Stu. Stuart Bradshaw making his 16th start since coming up from AAA Louisville. There you have the Giants 1-9. We'll start things off bottom half of the second. Ground ball from Luis Gonzalez. Diving stop by De La Cruz at third. Makes the play, tosses over to first. That would end the inning. He comes to the plate in the top of the third here, and it's going to be a ground ball up the middle from him. Base knock to lead off the inning for DLC. Then he goes and uses his fleet feet and swipes second base to get himself into scoring position. Slides around the tag. Adrian Merced, 0-2 count. Pitch gets away from Bart, allows De La Cruz to move up to third. Gets in around the tag on the wild pitch as well. So he's 90 feet away from scoring, and he would get just that as Merced drives him in, rips the ball up the middle. That is a 1-0 lead here for the Reds. Then Tyler Walls comes up, grounds into a 3-6-3 double play to end that inning. Move things on. Top of the fourth now. J.P. Crawford going out to right center field. Sinker, bottom of the zone. Doesn't even matter. He reaches down and clubs it into right center, into Triple's alley. That's going to be a triple for J.P. Crawford. So he's 90 feet away here with nobody out. And then Stevenson grounds one over to third. They take the sure out at first, but a run comes in for Cincy to make it a 2-0 ball game. Bottom of the fourth here. Stuart Bradshaw perfectly placed curveball to strike out Joey Bart for out number 2, and then for out number 3 it would be Brandon Belt getting jammed and popping up to Fagan over at first base for the final out of the inning. Move things on to the top of the 7th, where Kudai Senga comes on here for San Francisco for the 7th time this season, and he would start off his appearance by plunking Brian Anderson right on the arm guard, so he'll take his base. Now with 1 out, it's Johnny Fagan coming to the dish. He's going to go out to right center field. This one's also going to get down into that alley, and it's going to be a triple for Fagan, as he gets in there with an RBI triple, makes it a 3-0 Cincinnati lead. Then De La Cruz unfortunately strikes out to make it 2 outs in the inning. Still, runner at third base brings up Austin Hendrick, who flies 1-2 deep center field, but not deep enough on the hanging slider, so it's still 3-0. Bottom half of the 7th here, Stu goes back to work, gets Belt swinging on the curveball. Move things on to the 8th, it's Degotti, 1 on, 2 out, goes down looking on that curveball, a nasty pitch that Stuart Bradshaw has got in his arsenal. Move things on, bottom of the 9th, Escobar here with 1 out, it's going to club 1 out to left center field, get over the head of Hendrick up against the wall, so he's on second base in scoring position, and Bradshaw is unfortunately not going to get the complete game, so DeAndre Foster comes on looking for his 31st save of the season as he gets Verdugo. Bloop 1 into left field, lands in front of Hendrick, so now it's runners on the corners here, but Foster clutches up, blows the fastball right by Joey Bart for out number 2, and then for the final out of the ball game, Brandon Belt pops up to first base yet again in this game. Fagan puts it away, and the Reds shut out the Giants here and win this game 3-0 here as they take the first game of the set here in San Francisco. Stuart Bradshaw picks up player of the game honors, 8 1/3 innings pitched, only 4 hits given up, 5 Ks on the day, only 1 walk and no earned runs. J.P. Crawford had a triple, so did Johnny Fagan, only 7 hits, but they do make it count as they score the only 3 runs of the day. So now Cincinnati is down to the very end of the season. Game 162 against the Chicago Cubs is upcoming. We won that series against the Giants, split a 2-game set with the Cardinals, and now we are playing the rubber match as we dropped the first game, took the second game, and now it's game 3 here in game 162 against the Cubs, currently tied for second with the Phillies in that second wildcard spot. So a win for us here would make things very simple. But the Brewers and Padres are only 1 game behind, so things could get interesting after this game 162. Unfortunately, Austin Hendrick is on the IL with a separated shoulder. He had a huge game yesterday against the Cubs, 2 home runs, 6 RBI, swung so hard that he separated his shoulder, and now he's on the IL. The Redlegs now back at home here at Great American Ballpark as they are going to be playing host to the NL Central Chicago Cubs here in game 162. Toeing the slab for the Cubbies is the right-hander Adbert Alzolay. And take a look at the Reds lineup on the day, listed 1-2-9 with Taylor Walls leading things off, as well as their starter Tyler Mahle making his 33rd start here in 2025. Take a look at the Cubs order 1-2-9 on the day. We'll start things off top of the first, and the pitchers had it working early. 2 outs, ground ball there from Happ over to second base. Easy play for Crawford, rocking stirrups on the day. Then at bottom of the first, Brian Anderson goes down swinging on the slider. Top of the second now, it's Bodie lining out to center field. Merced easily puts that one away. Bottom of the second, runner on second, 2 outs. Brickhouse grounds out to second base. Another scoreless frame for both pitchers. Top of the third now, Nico Horner chops one over to third. De La Cruz makes the easy play for him, and it's now onto the bottom of the third where J.P. Crawford does smack one out in the left center field. This one's going to slow roll. Brennan Davis has some trouble with it, so Crawford's thinking 3 the whole way, and that was a mistake as he gets gunned down on the relay from Horner. Nothing going for the Reds. Top of the fourth now, and things start to get going here. Ian Happ slices one into left field. That's going to be a base knock here with 1 out. Brings up Patrick Wisdom, who grounds one up the middle. That's going to be back-to-back singles here for the Cubs. And Ian Happ goes first to third on the throw from Merced. So runners on the corners here. Brings up Ryan O'Hearn, and that ball is gone. Hit that one all the way into Kentucky, into the bluegrass. A 3-run blast off the bat of the lefty power-hitting first baseman Ryan O'Hearn as the Cubs jump out to a 3-0 lead. But the Reds going right to work here. Lane Thomas, 2-out hit to keep the inning alive. And then a pickoff over to first base gets away from O'Hearn. Thomas's fleet feet allows him to move up into second base into scoring position, and then De La Cruz delivers with a hit over the head of Horner at short, rolls up into the corner, or up into the gap, I should say. It's an RBI double for De La Cruz. It's now a 3-1 ball game. So they get on the board. Unfortunately, Fagan would then just pop up a hanging slider, so nothing else goes for the Reds. Move things on top of the fifth here. Max Stassi going up the middle. The catcher for the Cubbies hits a single there with 1 out. Then it brings up Horner, who grounds one over to first, and Fagan cannot make the play. Everyone is safe, so it's first and second here. That would end the day for Malley as Jarrett Ross comes on here for the 43rd time this season. 2 on, 1 out. Nick Madrigal poking one out to right field. Another single here for the Cubs. Bases are drunk, and Jarrett Ross clutches up. He strikes out Ian Happ for out number 2, and then he says, "You're not scoring any runs," and also strikes out Patrick Wisdom on the slider. Another big relief appearance from Jarrett Ross. He gets it done, keeps the game at 3-1. Move things on to the top of the 6th now, where Bodie grounds one up the middle. Taylor Walls showing off the range to his left. Beautiful play from him. Nice scoop from Fagan. Top of the 7th now, ground ball over the left side. De La Cruz diving stop, fires over to first for out number 2. And then unfortunately, Horner hits one over to him, makes the leap, but it hits off his glove. Walls tries to barehand it, throw over to first, but it is going to be a single for the speedy Horner. But unfortunately, Nick Madrigal gets the fastball run up on him. He's got absolutely no power, so he hits it as far as he can to the second base bag, and Crawford puts it away. Cody Hoyer now on for the bottom of the 8th, and Spencer Brickhouse at the dish spits on ball 4, and he will take the leadoff walk there in the inning. Ken Suzuki now comes on to pinch run for him at first base, get some extra speed out there. Adrian Merced at the dish, unfortunately jammed shot, pop up over to first base, 1 down. Then Suzuki goes and swipes second base, gets himself in a scoring position there. So Taylor Walls at the dish, 3-2, backdoor slider, just barely makes or just a nasty pitch there, hits the back door. Walls gets rung up looking. Now Scott Aberg, the closer, comes on here for the Cubs, and J.P. Crawford hits a line drive, but right at O'Hearn, so nothing going for the Reds. Now on to the 9th inning. Oberg still on the hill, ground ball Stevenson for out number 1. Good pitch right in the middle, but just a ground ball, and then Anderson, front door slider, a nasty slider there from Oberg, gets him looking. So now with 2 outs, it's Luis Arias coming on to pinch hit against the right-handed pitcher. And he would swing at the first pitch he sees and smoke it into the right center field gap. That's up against the wall. It is a 2-bagger for Luis Arias there. They're going to pinch run with Jay Allen to get some extra speed out there at second base. Brings up De La Cruz, who is also going to jump on the first pitch here. Fastball, top of the zone, and he just pops it up to Davis in center field. Nothing going for the Reds there. They only score 1 run on the day, and the only runs for the Cubs came on that 3-run blast from Ryan O'Hearn as they win it here at Great American Ballpark in game 162 and make the end of this season very, very complicated. Player of the game honors, of course, go to Ryan O'Hearn for his 3-for-4 day. 3-run home run, also doubled on the day. Tyler Malley only goes 4 1/3 innings pitched, gives up 7 hits and 3 earned runs. Only 6 hits for Cincinnati. Cubs pitching shut down this Reds lineup, which has been hot in September. But fortunately for this Reds team, they are not done. Game 162 is not the end of the season for them. The Phillies also lost. The Brewers won, and the Padres lost. So now it's a 3-way tie for the second wild card spot. Remember, this game does not have the updated playoff format, so it's still the old one where there's just a 1-game playoff for the 2 guys in the 2 teams in that last 2 wild card spots. So that means that our Cincinnati Reds are going to be playing a game 163 against the Milwaukee Brewers, and the winner of that game will then move on to play a game 164 against the Philadelphia Phillies, And then the winner of that game will move on to play the actual one-game wild card against the San Francisco Giants in San Francisco. So a very complicated end to the season here, but that will wrap things up here for this edition of the Cincinnati Reds franchise here on MLB The Show 22. I have been your host, Jersey Born, and I am saying, away from the Myers, Billy String's best song.